What's good, you guys? Python is the third most used language according to the Stack Overflow survey. Today I want to do a 5-minute intro video to Python. Let's get into it. Python is a multi-purpose language that can be used for AI, machine learning, data science, and web development. Some web development frameworks include Django. Some popular websites include YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify.
Python is fast, but we use packages like NumPy that is written mostly in C or C++. NumPy gives us a higher performance when working with hefty amounts of data objects and arrays. Python is an interpreted language, so it is converted into bytecode, which is then ran by the Python virtual machine. So if you don't have Python installed already, head over to python.org/downloads and install Python here. All right, let's talk about the syntax. Variables hold primitives and compounds. Primitives are your basic ints, floats, bools, and strings, while compound data is held by lists and dictionaries. To declare variables in Python, we simply give the variable a name and set it equal to something. In Python, you can override variables by simply stating the variable name again and setting it equal to a new value. Python is a top-down language. Things are fairly straightforward in Python. We can use double quotes, and we can also use single quotes. F-strings make it possible to include variables inside of your strings. So this would print, "Hey, Bobby." Typecasting is fairly simple in Python, so if we have a year 1988 and that's a string and we want to say year plus 1, this will throw an error because you can't add 1 to a string. So instead you would need to say int year plus 1. Python defines scope by indentation. So here I'm writing a function that simply returns the list and they can hold different types of values. Dictionaries are just what they sound like. It's key value and you can store tons of data in them. The input function returns whatever the user inputs in the terminal. The print function logs whatever you pass to it to the terminal. And we have the round function that simply takes a number and rounds it to the nearest whole number. We have the sorted function that sorts a list. The sum function that gives you the sum of a list and length. So while loops in Python are just like the functions, the scope is defined by the indentation. We can iterate through a list by saying for value in list. You can probably see the trend here. If statements use indentation as well. And you can chain the if statements with elif, which is else if this statement, and then you can also end it with an else. Alright, so there's a Pythonic way of doing things. One of these things are called list comprehensions. This is what I'm doing here on line 4. And all the values will now be multiplied by 2. We can type values in Python by using the colon for parameters and then the arrow for return types. So booleans can be set to values in Python. Here I'm setting the boolean false to x because age is not greater than 23. Age is equal to 23, that's true. Age is greater than or equal to 23, that's true. Age is not equal to 23, that's false. Is within limits is now equal to this boolean. That you can chain with and or statements.
Alright guys, that was Python in 5 minutes. If you guys liked the video, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.